Man, happy holiday to everybody for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like just honoring the ancestors and our predecessors and uh yeah, no better day to get conversations like this started, you know what I'm saying, on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So, you know, happy holidays everybody.
Indeed. Appreciate that. Good
Yeah.
brother, uh, brother Jordan, brother Arthur. If y'all busy, we know y'all tuned in with us. But without further ado, we're gonna get started here. I think we got a couple more people that may be joining in, tapping in a little later, but as they come, they could get it how they get it. You feel me? Sorry about that. All right, are y'all able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all can see it? Okay. And now this is part 3. We on week 3, true, of the Masterkey system by Charles Hannell. And I'll make sure I add you to this document so you have this as well. Or it should be in the calendar invite.
Yup, I was able to access the PDF.
Okay. So it should be in there too. And in part 3, what we do is we just break this down. We'll go through this part, but each line, if you hear something that speaks to you, and if you want to expound up on that, feel free to do that, as we go through, and then we kind of discuss what part stood out to us and what part of it could be valuable for us through the week. Because each week there's 24 weeks. There's usually exercise at the end of each week. And with that, we're able to expound on how we think about this as a mastermind and how this information could be valuable. All right, so part 3 of the master key. You have found that the individual may act upon the universal, and that the results of this action and interaction is cause and effect. Thought, therefore, is the cause, and the experience with each you meet in life are the effects. Eliminate, therefore, any possible tendency to complain of conditions as they have been or as they are, because it rests with you to change them and make them what you like them to be. Direct your effort to realization of the mental resources always at your command, from which all real lasting power comes. Persist in this practice until you come into the realization of the fact that there could be no failure in accomplishment of any proper objective in life if you yet but understand your power and persist in your objective. Because the mind forces are ever ready to lend themselves to a purposeful will in the effort to crystallize thought and the desire into actions and events and conditions. Whereas in the beginning of each function of life and each action is the result of consciousness, conscious thought, the habitual actions become automatic, and the thought that controls them passes into the realm of the subconscious. Yet it's just as intelligent as before. It is necessary that it becomes automatic, or the subconscious, in order that the self-conscious mind may attend to other things. The new action will, however, in turn, excuse me, let me let this person in. Okay. The new action, excuse me. The new action will, however, in turn become habitual, then automatic, then the subconscious, in order that the mind again may be freed from this detailed and advanced to still other activities. When you realize this, you will have found the source of power, which enables you to take care of any situation in life and may develop. So part 3 of the master key. And Brother Terry, if y'all want a popcorn read, or if y'all want to pick up one, and we like that,
let's popcorn it.
You know,
Alrighty.
just and again, if you hear something that sticks out to you, or you want to expound on each part, that's what makes this what it is the mastermind, because we all have a different perspective of the information, and it can add value to one of the other brothers on here's perspective. So feel free to tune in, chap in. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Part 3. The necessary interaction of the conscious and subconscious mind requires a similar interaction between the corresponding system of nerves. Judge Troward indicates the very beautiful method in which this interaction is effected. He says the cerebrospinal system is the organ of the conscious mind, and the sympathetic is the organ of the subconscious. The cerebrospinal is the channel through which we receive conscious perception from the physical senses and exercise control over the movements of the body. This system of nerves has its center in the brain.
Okay.
Number 2.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. The sympathetic system has its center in a galvanic mass at the back of the stomach known as the solar plexus. And this channel of the mental action, which is unconsciously supported with the vital functions of the body. Now, this goes a little bit, it gets wordy on this chapter, but when we think about what that means, it's kind of saying, you have a mass at the back of your stomach that's channeling mental action. So it's not only does the mental action takes place in the mind of your brain, where most people think the thought is, it's saying that, in your solar plexus, you have, it's responsible for mental action. So that's something to think about. A lot of times we just think it's in the mind, but it takes place here as well.
This is what your gut feeling.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, your intestines and your stomach, it looks just like your brain do, just at a different spot for sure.
Yes, sir. The connection between the two systems is made by the vagus nerve, which passes out of the cerebral region as a portion of the voluntary system to the thorax, sending out branches to the heart and lungs, and finally passing through the diaphragm. It loses its outer coating and becomes identified with the nerves of the sympathetic system. So forming a connection, linking between the two and making the man physically a single entity. That's deep.
But we have seen that every thought is received by the brain, which is the organ of the conscious. It is here subjected to our power of reasoning. When the objective mind has been satisfied that the thought is true, it is sent to the solar plexus, or the brain of the subjective mind, to be made into our flesh, to be brought forth into the world as reality. It is then no longer susceptible. Is that, I said that right?
Susceptible.
Susceptible to any argument, whatever. The subconscious mind cannot argue. It only acts. It accepts the conscious of the objective mind as final.
That's powerful. I was telling somebody the other day that, he was saying his life and death in the power of the tongue. He was talking about he was getting ready to go on a diet. And I said, why don't you just live it? Instead of diet, why don't you just live it? Because the power of the tongue, the word die it says what it is, and the subconscious mind, it can't argue. I was telling them, it can't tell the difference. It only acts. It accepts the conclusion as the objective mind is final. So a lot of times we say things and we might mean a different thing, but the subconscious mind, it can't argue for what you mean. It only accepts the conclusion. It only accepts what it is. It's like it is what it is, and that's final. So it's just something to think about when we speaking, that we keep, like last week, we keep the guard at the gate, we keep the bouncer at the door of the subconscious mind. We don't just say anything because we know the objective mind is final.
Yeah, that's deep. Number 5, the solar plexus has been likened to the sun of the body because it is the central point of distribution for the energy which the body is constantly generating. That's deep.
Mm.
The energy is very real energy. This energy is very real energy, and this sun is a very real sun. And the energy is being distributed by very real nerves to all parts of the body, and is thrown off in an atmosphere which envelopes the body.
Mm. Now that's powerful. When
That's powerful. That brings me back to the word God: generator, operator, and controller.
Yeah,
To generate, you have to be able to operate and know how to navigate through it, control it. So yeah, that was deep for sure.
yeah. If this radiation is sufficiently strong, the person is called magnetic.
Mm.
He is said to be filled with personal magnetism, such as a person may widen in immense power for good. His presence alone will often bring comfort to troubled minds in which he comes in contact. So you the light of the world when you have that light and you radiating that light and you step into dark places, you become that light. It becomes magnetic. You start to attract certain things when you walk in those rooms, and you got this word in you. You got this light that's shining. It emanates from you. Your presence alone will bring comfort. So when you go into dark places, it's like, hey man, who's that? Who's that? When you walk in, people like, man, who is this? Every time you walk in the room. When the solar plexus is active operation and it is radiating life, energy, and vitality to every part of the body and to everyone whom he meets, the sensations are pleasant. The body is filled with health, and all with whom he comes into contact experiences a pleasant sensation. You ever walked in somewhere, man, and somebody, man, it's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to meet you. You ever had that happen where you just walk in a place and it seemed like everybody's excited and ignited to meet you?
Mm.
All lies on me. Yeah.
Yeah.
What Tupac said, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what that is.
That's deep. Number 8, if there is any interruption of this radiation, the sensations are unpleasant. If there is any interruption of this radiation, the sensations are unpleasant. The flow of life and energy to some part of the body is stopped. And this is the cause of every ill to the human race, physical, mental, or environmental.
Mm. So that disconnect, if
Yeah.
if your light goes out, if you dimming your own light, if that light gets a little dark, then that's where illness comes in. When you not at ease with yourself, that's when disease creeps in. So it's good. Let's keep going.
9, physical. Physical, because the sum of the body is no longer generating sufficient energy to vitalize some part of the body. Mental, because the conscious mind is dependent upon the subconscious mind for the vitality necessary to support its thought as mindset. And environmental, because the connection between the subconscious mind and the universal mind is being interrupted.
That's powerful. I got a young cousin right now. He's sitting in ICU fighting for his life, and I went to go visit him yesterday, and I was playing the Neville Goddard, just the power of the imagination. But what's going on is, like they're saying, when we talk about these different faculties of the mind, how the mind works, and the subconscious mind, it breathes without it being told. He's having a disconnect. So what my intentions was to get him to remember how to connect the two by playing the information to where he's hearing it, absorbing that information. And he opened his eyes, he started to blink. He was trying to talk, but the main thing, we want to get him to start breathing on his own without the machine. But utilizing these principles is what giving me the gall to go do what I'll do and go help him out. So I think that's imperative. When you see that, when the connection is interrupted, then that's when you get sickness, you get disease, you get all these things.
So question, what are some techniques or some things that each of you guys do when you are not at ease, but how do you identify that to identify when you are creating a disease?
I think this is something we spoke about with the youth we work with. You know what it's like when you feel well, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
you know what it feels like when you don't feel well. So now you have the battleground of the two, and it's kind of just working your way into that feeling, getting full of the feeling of how you feel when you well. When I feel well, it feels like everything is just poetry in motion. But one of the things I do when I don't feel well is I'll go ground myself. I'll go out and actually hug a tree. You know, put my feet in the ground. If it's snow out here, sometimes I'll take a detox bath. You know, let those toxins be released from my body, because I know those things matter. Changing what you eat, because again, we just heard where the mind is in the gut. So if you eating wrong, you thinking wrong.
So, for some, makes sense.
Yeah. So those is a couple of things that I do personally that work for me.
Yeah, for me, I'll just jump to a couple in there. Man, if you move, it's moving energy. So whether I'm dead tired, sleepy, don't feel like moving around, I'll just go jump straight in the shower. That's like freshening me up, giving me some energy. If I'm feeling a little groggy, like I don't have a lot of energy, but I'm trying to wake myself up, I can start doing some stretches, some light, like not even exercising, man, just really moving the body. Because if you go from a sleep state or a stagnant position to moving, it's moving energy, it's getting the blood flowing, it's changing the state, man. It's making you present. And then also meditating.
And two, another thing is create. That's another thing that gets me out of it. I'll make some music. I'll be making some music of some sort, creating some music, or just some creative in general. If I'm drawing, or just something in creative in nature.
For sure. We have 10.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Go ahead, brother James.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yeah, just taking like I some of the ones that that both of y'all said. It's like some of those. It's like, yeah, I know that I need to do that like more, or incorporate that, or just that added awareness. Like hugging a tree to ground yourself. I was listening to something like people was talking about like connecting even to their bedroom, like a copper wire that's in the ground as well. You know what I'm saying? Like it may be like, connect the copper wire to their big toe. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like just like super interesting. I do, you know, acknowledge it, you know what I'm saying? And then, kind of like experiment from there. And I think like, yeah, experimenting just with yourself, like exploring that creativity piece is energy and movement as well too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that, that's one of our like kind of like responsibilities here is to create. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I love that one. And then like shit, as far as experimenting, since May of last year, I got back in the gym, and I'm in the gym 5 days a week, maybe four like today because of the holiday. So the gym I go to Montbello Rec. You know what I'm saying? Like, but between 6 and 6:30 every morning, Monday through Friday. So going back to that that moving piece that you was talking about, Terry. And then let's see, this week marks the third month, so I've been doing it for 90 days. But I got into boxing training too. So on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm doing that training too, you know what I'm saying? Just, discipline and shit for real, for real. Discipline to do it. But also, it is, like it's learning, you know what I'm saying? Like learning something new and moving, you know what I'm saying? Engaging the mind and the body. And then I really love that piece too about just like, changing your state, because, it's like, yeah, just like, that awareness, like when definitely if I ever get sick, then you know what I'm saying, like I definitely, like use taking a shower to, like refresh myself, if it's just like a little minor cold or whatever. But I think like preventative, you know what I'm saying, like so every shower I end it, if not with 2 minutes, even like at the least like 30 seconds of a cold shower, you know what I'm saying, just to, I don't know, shit, mentality wise, get the first win of the day. Like, all right, I did that shit. Fuck it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Like, get on with it. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've read some things about like it kind of like shocks the
lymphatic.
immune system.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Like lymphatic system. Yeah. So yeah, those some of my things or whatever that I've incorporated kind of like, more recently even, that I would share.
For
okay,
sure. I can agree with all those. One extra that I will add on for me, man, is man, I've been doing this acupuncture.
Mm,
So the acupuncture detox, hitting, pressure points in certain spots of the body that actually deal with the specific emotions that you are feeling or whatnot. Releasing all those detoxins from the bodies and the organs that have to deal with the specific parts of the body is one other thing that I do. But pretty much what I'm hearing is it starts with, first of all, awareness and intention.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
we had 10.
Yes, sir.
The solar plexus. The solar plexus is the point at which the part meets with the whole, where the finite becomes infinite, where the uncreated becomes created, the universal becomes individualized, the invisible becomes visible. It is the point at which life appears, and there is no limit to the amount of life in an individual may generate from this solar system.
Nice. So this center of energy is omnipotent because it is the point of contact with all life and all intelligence. It can therefore accomplish whatever is directed to accomplish. And herein lies the power of the conscious mind. The subconscious can and will carry out such plans and ideals as may be suggested to it by the conscious mind. Again, last week we talked about the guard at the gate, protecting your subconscious mind with the conscious mind, and we enlightened it to like having a bouncer at the, your subconscious mind is the club and the conscious mind is the bouncer, not letting in certain thoughts, not letting in certain ideals or suggestions, and being protective of that. And the conscious mind powers the subconscious mind. So that's in that way where it could suggest certain things. You got to be careful with you letting people suggest to you. They say the power of suggestion.
Hey, positive vibes, yo. Hey, peace, peace, peace.
Peace.
I'm working out and shit, but go to attention, my boys. That brought me to another point. When y'all was talking about, you know what I'm saying, preventative care, for your mental. You know what I'm saying, like all those things that y'all were talking about. I definitely incorporate too, and I love it. But one thing we got to understand is it starts with yourself. So, like, one big thing is to affirm, you know what I'm saying, what you want to happen in your life and for your body to do. So affirmations are very, very important too. Waking up with affirmations, you know what I'm saying? Like your words are powerful, as it says, you know what I'm saying, about the subconscious. So whatever you tell yourself, you know what I'm saying, 10 times out of 10 it's gonna happen. You feel me? So speaking that into your words speaking that into your life with clarity, I feel is very, very important too. So
That's good.
create those affirmations, you know what I'm saying, that you say to yourself every single day. Create those affirmations that you say when, you know what I'm saying, you might be coming down with something. Create affirmations, you know what I'm saying, whenever you feel like you need a little bit of extra pep in your step. You feel me? But positive vibes, ooh-wee.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Conscious thought then is the master of this sun center from which the life and energy of the entire body flows. And the quality of thought which we entertain determines the quality of thought which the sun will radiate. And this character of thought which our conscious mind entertains will determine the character of thought which the sun will radiate. With the nature of the thought which our conscious mind entertains will determine the nature of thought which the sun will radiate, and consequently will determine the nature of the experience which will result. Man, that's powerful, just because, like he just said, you know, what thoughts are you entertaining? What thoughts are you entertaining? And it's going to radiate that sun. It's going to determine if this little light of mine, am I going to let it shine? You know, is that light going to radiate depending on the nature of the thought which you entertain? So that's powerful. It is evident. Go ahead.
No, I'll get the next one. Y'all.
Okay.
Peace, everybody. Peace to everybody to the group.
Okay.
Yeah. Number 13, it is evident, therefore, that we all have to do is let our light shine. The more energy we can radiate, the more rapidly we shall be enabled to transmute undesirable conditions into sources of pleasure and profit. The important question then is how to let this light shine, how to generate this energy.
See, it just told us about, you know, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Come on now. The word that stuck out to me is that generate.
Yes, sir. When brother just talked about generator operator, you know, that's the God force in you. He just dropped that on us. Somebody want to take number 14?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, take 14.
Number 14. Non-resistant thought expands the solar plexus. Resistant thought contracts it. Pleasant thought expands it. Unpleasant thought contracts it. Thoughts of courage, power, confidence, and hope all produce a corresponding state. But the one arch enemy of the solar plexus, which must be absolutely destroyed before there is any possibility of letting any light shine, is fear. This enemy must be completely destroyed. He must be eliminated. He must be expelled forever. That's that year of execution. He is the cloud which hides the sun, which causes a perpetual gloom.
Wow. So fear is what shuts down the light. Fear is what clouds out the light.
Yeah, most definitely. I like that one. That one's dope.
So
It
with
is
that,
just
look,
personal. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, it's just funny because I was just doing some research about the sun, man, and I said, what expands the sun's energy? It said the sun's energy expands due to the process called nuclear fusion happening in its core, where hydrogen atoms fuse together to form helium, releasing the tremendous amount of energy that pushes outward against the gravitational forces trying to pull the sun inwards. This inward pressure is what causes the sun's energy to expand through its layers and eventually radiate into space as light and heat.
That's just dope.
So, you know, it's funny how science is so incorporated into our everyday living, right?
Yes,
So when
sir.
y'all speak about that light, it reminds me of the sun, man. And If there's no sun to have that that outward push, that's like repelling all the negative, then it's easy to get sucked into that black hole. You know what I mean?
Man,
So
we was just
yeah.
watching. Me and my kids was watching it. You know what I'm saying? Last night. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they ended up killing Cuz, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they showed that they wasn't scared of him. You know what I'm saying? Like he was devouring niggas the whole time, murdering everybody, all the little kids, until they got their courage, until they found that the light was inside of them, and that they had the courage to stand up to him. So that's crazy that passage kind of says exactly that. You know, you got to have the courage to have that energy, man. Niggas have the courage to have that positive light, have the courage to be that, so that no negative can touch you. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're the chosen, you're the chosen. So act like you're the chosen. Your energy should reflect that at all times. But I love it.
For sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say too, like sometimes too, even like on those things that energize you and like, yeah, speaking to the sun being primary, like, and so, if I do, or when I do, not even when I feel like depleted of energy, but like definitely, because that's like a trigger, but like I'll go out and I'll just sit with the sun. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll get you -4 degrees, you know what I'm saying? Let me go get a little bit of that, you know what I'm saying? Like and just connect with, like source. You know what I'm saying? Like and and I think that's the same thing as like, kind of like on that side as far as like being grounded, like you said, Vince, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, walking outside barefoot, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But then yeah, yeah, just and actually look into the sun, knowing that like it's charging you, like when you plug up your fucking phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like yeah. Anyway, just wanted to share that, and also when everybody is ready, I'm down to read 15.
All right. Go ahead, tackle it.
All right. It is this personal devil which makes men fear the past, the present, and the future. Fear themselves, their friends, and their enemies. Fear everything and everybody. When fear is effectually and completely destroyed, your light will shine. The clouds will disperse, and you will have found the source of power, energy, and life.
That's powerful. It's it said that personal devil. So it ain't no devil outside of you, it's the devil in you. It's personal. It's a personal devil. It ain't outside of you. It's you. My dad will always say issue real slow. It's you. And a lot of people, they look outside of themselves for all aspects, for God, for the devil, and in totality, it's you. So it's something to think about if we think about how to destroy fear, and we'll dive into that a little bit deeper too. But number 16.
That's like that shadow work too. My bad. Doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I was just listening to Neville Goddard again, and he was just saying, a lot of people be trying to fight the shadow instead of changing how the light shines. You trying to fight the shadow, but it's only reflection of the light. So, or you trying to fight the reflection in the mirror instead of just changing what you do.
Changing
So
your position. Yeah, that's ill.
Yeah, that goes. Man, Brother Terry had invited me onto a live on YouTube of a church sermon, man, and it brings me back to we run away from the problem of conflict. We have an issue with conflict. We have an issue with being addressed about something that we're doing wrong instead of when we know it's wrong, or we know we're in the wrong, just however the situation may unfold. But we have more so of a problem with the person addressing it instead of addressing the issue with the conflict.
Yes, sir. I'll take number 16. When you find that you are really one with the infinite power, and when you can consciously realize this power by practical demonstration of your ability to overcome any adverse condition by the power of your thoughts, you will have nothing to fear. Fear will have been destroyed, and you will have come into possession of your birthright. You know, this is your birthright, you know, to be fearless. It's your birthright to overcome any adverse condition by the power of your thought. I was telling this young lady the other day, and I was talking about, you know, just grief, how to overcome grief. And she's like, you can't tell nobody how to think about grief. You can't tell nobody how to feel. I said, you're right. But I could teach somebody how to think and how to change their thoughts.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing in this world that didn't start with a thought. You can't think of a thing that in this world, in this realm, that didn't start with a thought first. So if thinking created it, that means thinking could change it. So it's just something to ponder on. Number 17. It is our attitude of mind towards life which determines the experiences with which we are to meet. If we expect nothing, we shall have nothing. If we demand much, we shall receive a greater portion. The world is harsh only as we fail to assert ourselves. The criticism of the world is bitter only to those who cannot compel room for their ideals. It is fear of criticism that causes many ideals to fail to see the light of day. That's because, you know, a lot of people like, I don't expect nothing. If I don't have no expectations, then I don't disappointed.
That's
And
strong.
if you don't expect nothing, you ain't gonna get nothing.
Man, and I was just telling my baby mom that about, you know what I'm saying, our situation, you know, we co-parent or whatnot, but you know what I'm saying, I have my kids most of the time. And I'm just like kind of trying to give her my ideals, you know what I'm saying, as parenting exists in our world. And I'm like, shit, the way we grew up, we have high expectations. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got people, if you're successful now as a man, you have somebody feeding into those expectations of you. You know what I'm saying? You have to have expectations in order to even, you know what I'm saying, get anywhere in life. If you don't got no expectations, you ain't gonna go nowhere. So that hits hard right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, attitudes is important, man, because man, life ain't nothing but 10% of what happens to you, and it's 90% of how you react. So your attitude will carry you long ways, for sure.
And that even just tied back into that comment you mentioned about addressing conflict. It's like the woes of the world come from not being able to address it. But once we do, it's like, man, it's nothing. It's just another step in the process. Failure turns into a lesson. It's that alchemist turning lead into gold. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
Number 17.
18.
18.
Is we? Yeah. Number 18.
But the man who knows that he has a solar plexus will not fear criticism or anything else. He will be too busy radiating courage, confidence, and power. He will anticipate success by his mental attitude. He will pound barriers to pieces and leap over the chasm of doubt and hesitation which fear places on his earth. And that's what Brother Jay just mentioned. It's like, man, having that courage, bro, it's that courage and that plan, you radiate, you imagine, you create. And it's that be, do, have. It's that creation from inward, being that sun. Deep.
Nice.
19. The knowledge of our ability to consciously radiate health, strength, and harmony will bring us into a realization that there is nothing to fear because we are in touch with infinite strength. And 20. This knowledge can be gained only by making practical application of this information. We learn by doing, through practice. The athlete comes powerful.
Now that's powerful because
writing that down.
What we talk about while we doing this Masterkey we do it on Monday and you got the whole week to practice. You got the whole week to practice this information that we got. We got this information, and it's like, you know, you start to see it applicable. This is probably my, I'm gonna say maybe 15, 16, close, maybe it might even be 20th time doing the Masterkey. And I learn something different every time, because how I apply it is not how I applied it 10 years ago. It's not how I apply it now. My mind is in a different place. So, but the knowledge, you know, people say knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. No, it's not. It's the practical application of the information. We in the information age. People are loaded with information daily, but it's like, are you practically applicating that information? And you learn by doing. So that's action. And through practice is repetition. You know, my pops will always tell me, you know, professionals train, amateurs convince. So it's us doing this training and practicing and going through this word and going over these things and sharing ideas collectively with other people of like minds. That's the value in this. Number 21.
21. As the following statement is of considerable importance, I will put it in several ways so that you cannot fail to get the full significance of it. If you are religiously inclined, I would say you can let your light shine, as you've been saying, Vincent. If your mind has a bias toward physical science, I would say you can wake the solar plexus. Or if you prefer the strictly scientific interpretation, I will say that you can impress your subconscious mind.
However you need to hear it, however you need to see it. You know, however you need to hear it, however you need to see it. But the, you know, the information and the principle remains the same. The words may change, but the principle remains the same.
Yeah, that reminds me of, like, I'm like shit. I need to hear it all them ways and shit, because they hit on you know what I'm saying, like levels and shit. And it reminds me of like even just like, you know, talking about learning, like on that topic, like, you know, you like the way you cognitively learn, you know what I'm saying, like, or you know, like, yeah, you know, through, whether it's through feeling and like emotion, like that intuition, even just like, you know, they kind of tried to regulate us to like 6 senses when really we got like 180 or something like that. Yeah, you know what I mean, you know, and just like modalities or whatever. But yet and still that learning part is like, yeah, it's like all of those hit, because I kind of need to, you know, use what I have, you know, as much as what I have to, you know, just like to learn, whether that's through like, you know, even learning through, you know, just like interaction as far as community. How we doing now is different than like learning like by yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like and even like kind of like that demonstration of practice, you know what I'm saying, like here with each other, like a team sport, you know, community and shit like that. So yeah,
Yes,
dope.
yes, sir. 22. I have already told you what the result of this impression will be. It is the method in which you are now interested. You have already learned that the subconscious is intelligent and that it is creative and responsive to the will of the conscious mind. What then is the most natural way of making the desirable impression? Mental concentration on the object of your desire. When you are concentrating, you are impressing the subconscious mind. And I think this is powerful, because a lot of people don't know what it means to really concentrate, to really have focus and just be able to concentrate. And I think this is something that we should really go into deeper thought about what concentrating is.
Hey, and it's even crazier. You know what's even crazier?
What's
Like
that?
it brings me back to the system that we're in. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of us grew up, you know what I'm saying, in the crack era. A lot of us grew up, you know what I'm saying, in a time where, you know what I'm saying, like we were getting diagnosed with ADD, ADHD. You know what I'm saying? Like if your kid is overactive and your kid can't sit their ass down and concentrate, you know what I'm saying? They say that you got ADHD. You feel me? We feed our kids sugar, you know what I'm saying? We grew up eating sugar, all these different things that naturally break down, you know what I'm saying, our physical as well as our mental. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like if the 1% know this information about how to tap into your subconscious and how to control your God body and, you know what I'm saying, attract anything that's under the sun, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's one of the reasons why, you know what I'm saying, they push sugar so much. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they push, you know what I'm saying, the overactivity of our physical nature so much, so that, you know what I'm saying, we can't sit your ass down and you can't concentrate, you can't really tap in, you can't meditate, because you high off of sugar, you high off of all these different things. And it's so serious that, you know what I'm saying, I don't even give my kids sugar no more. You know what I'm saying? Like literally it's only fructose. Like we eat fruit, you know what I'm saying? You get your sugar from grapes. Like my kids be mad as hell at me, but when they get off of that sugar, I'll be ready to whoop them. So, you know what I'm saying? You can't, the two don't mix. When they're not high off of sugar, they can concentrate. I can talk to them. I can teach them. I can, you know what I'm saying? They'll regurgitate the information when they're not bouncing off the walls. You feel me? So it kind of like stems to a bigger picture. A lot of people's high off sugar and can't even concentrate. Their mind is everywhere. You feel me? But
Yes. So that goes to, I mean, Brother Terry could probably speak to this for a yoga practice, but concentrate means to bring or come to a common center. So from assimilation of the Latin with together, meaning condense and form that intensifies the action of from sense of mentally focusing. The notion of concentration is the mind of mental power. So this is where your mind and mental power is when you center yourself. Namaste. You know, when you center yourself and you able to just cut out all distractions. You know, we're in, everybody's fighting for your attention. You know, Instagram, TikTok, everybody wants your, they want your attention.
The attention economy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So to be able to concentrate and be able to center yourself and focus, that's where your power comes from.
Hey, y'all remember that? Y'all remember that song that the little cute black girls used to play on the bus? Concentration.
Yeah, concentration.
Yeah, man. That stems from our upbringing. You know what I'm saying? To try to fulfill some of these things that we're reading right now.
Yes, sir.
That's real.
Number 23. This is not the only way, but it is a simple and effective way, and most direct way, and consequently the way in which the best results are secured. It is the method which is producing such extraordinary results that many think that miracles are being accomplished. So people think it's miracles. Is like, nah, concentrate. How many times out the day do you get to concentrate? You know, you should start your day off by concentrating on what you see your day being. Concentrate on that. It is the method by which every great inventor, every great financier, every great statesman has been able to convert the subtle and invisible force of desire, faith, and confidence into actual, tangible, concrete facts in the objective world. The subconscious mind is part of the universal mind. The universal is creative principle of the universe. A part must be same in kind and quality as the whole. This means that the creative power is absolutely unlimited. It is not bound by precedents of any kind, and consequently has no prior existent pattern by which to apply its constructive principle. So that's just like saying a piece of sand is a part of the beach. A piece of sand is the beach. You got the power of the beach. You know, to have that universal mind, to be able to tap into that and have creative power and unlimited. That's abundance. This, you tapped into the source. That's abundance. You know, that's powerful. Number
That's
26.
a perfect metaphor, and just kind of like heuristic, you know what I'm saying? Like to think about it, you know what I'm saying, in terms of that breaks down like all of those levels, like how you would equate the principle, you know what I'm saying, into like a meta, because it's still scientific, you know what I'm saying, like the like just what to say, like, you know, kind of like faith of a mustard seed, you know what I'm saying, like,
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean? Like all of those things, like, you know, just like that one particle has the power of the whole is
That's
crazy.
because you say that. I was talking to one of my cousins about the faith of the mustard seed, and a lot of people don't realize that there's dual nature in that. People say have the faith of a mustard seed, one, because it doesn't take much, and also because a mustard seed is one of the only seeds that can't be cross-pollinated. So it has in that nature to have your faith to where it's unpollinatable. You're not crossbreeding your faith with any doubt. You're not crossbreeding your faith with any unbelief. Your faith is so strong, you can't get thrown off. You can't get it mixed. It's unpollinatable.
Yeah, the integrity of it. Yeah.
So where we at? 26.
Yep.
We have found that the subconscious mind is responsive to our conscious will, which means that the unlimited creative power of the universal mind is within control of the conscious mind of the individual. So you got that power, it's unlimited. You know, it's unlimited. That means there's no limit. We about it. Ain't no limit to this.
You connected to the family. It's like if my kids want something, like they want to get some brownies from the store or something, they got that power. They connected. So we got it. It's easy. You don't gotta wish for it. You command it. Like Brother Jay was starting. You start your day off with that command and demand it. And that's the feeling part of execution.
Nice. When making a practical application of this principle in accordance with the exercise given in the subsequent lessons, it is well to remember that it is not necessary to outline the method by which the subconscious will produce the result you desire. The finite cannot inform the infinite. You are simply to say what you desire, not how are you to obtain it. And I think that's powerful. A lot of times we try to think of how, and we limit ourselves. We limit all the possibilities because we trying to focus on how it's going to come, how it's going to work out. It's just saying, simply say what you desire. You don't got to worry about the how. The how ain't none of your business.
Secret. Law of attraction, baby.
Yeah, you can't limit how it's going to come to you by trying to figure out how.
Yeah, I would even say too, it goes back into there was a scripture where it was talking about how you got to have like the belief of a child or like the faith of a child, you know, because a lot of the times a child is gonna say they want something and not even think about how, you know, they don't think about how they, you know, how hard they got to work to get it or who got to work to get it. They just know they want it. They want that toy, and so that's what it makes me think of right there, you know.
So it's funny. The last couple paragraphs we didn't read, man, it took me back to environment. Man, you have to. It take me back to my kids, man. It reminds me of when I give one of my sons a toy. He don't want to share it until he has possession of that toy. He has to have possession over it before he can share it, right? So it starts with the individual to be able to create the environment that he wants. Pretty much is what I'm hearing. For sure.
sir.
So in life, sometimes we have to be in possession and know how to do it first before we can be able to give it and share it with others.
Indeed.
It's deep.
Yes, sir. You are the channel by which the undifferentiated is being differentiated. And this is differentiated is being accomplished by appropriation. It only requires recognition to set cause in motion, which will bring about results in accordance with your desire. This is accomplished because the universal can only act through the individual. The individual can act only through the universal. They are one. It's like you can't have one without the other. You can't have one without the other. And like you said, the recognition, to recognize is it only requires the recognition. A lot of times you might be sitting in the manifestation that you asked about and you can't even recognize it.
Come on now.
You ain't even recognize you got what you asked for, and he's like, dang. The recognition sets cause in motion. For your exercise this week, I will ask you to go one step further. I want you not only to become perfectly still and inhabit all thoughts as far as possible, but relax, let go, let the muscles take their normal condition. This will remove all pressure from the nerves and eliminate that tension which so frequently produces physical exhaustion. Physical relaxation is voluntary exercise of the will, and the exercise will be found to be of great value as it enables the blood to circulate freely into from the brain and the body. Tension leads to mental unrest and abnormal mental activity of the mind. It produces worry, care, fear, and anxiety. Relaxation is therefore an absolute necessity in order to allow the mental faculties to exercise the greatest freedom. Make this exercise as thorough and complete as possible. Mentally determine that you will relax every muscle and nerve until you feel quiet and restful and at peace with yourself and the world. The solar plexus will then be ready to function, and you will be surprised at the result. What system? And that's the end. I think something got deleted, but that's the end of that chapter. So that's the exercise. So last week, the first exercise was for you to go in the room and sit perfectly still, find a spot in the wall, and focus on that spot. What was the second week, Brother Terry? To keep doing that?
Just pick a spot and let your mind wander.
Let your mind wander. And so this week, it's to relax. This was probably the hardest exercise for me previously because I was never taught how to relax. I always be so tense. Even sometimes when I'm driving, I find myself gripping the steering wheel tight and, clenching my teeth. The relaxation piece is a powerful part about creation and being able to have power over your mental faculties. So this is a tough exercise, but I implore everybody to do it. And again, what we want to do is make sure you do these exercises throughout the week. You got an opportunity to practice these things. And I kind of want to ask if you guys, how it's been for you guys to do some of the previous exercises from the past week for the gentlemen that have been able to do it. And as well, now at this point, what we do is we kind of go around, everybody give your overall take of what you got from this, how you can employ this in your week, this week, and just any words of wisdom or something that we could take away for our weeks.
Yeah, I'll go first. I appreciate everybody for being here, and what I'm saying, you V for hosting it, and having this space for us to, vibe essentially. But as far as the the little experiments or the actions that we've been taking. The first week was the meditation week for me, and then the second week was when I started my cleanse. So I just been, you know what I'm saying, on some how to eat to live type of vibe, and only eating once a day. You know what I'm saying, which we really do anyway. But kind of taking into consideration what you put into your body, and just eating one good meal a day. You know what I'm saying, around like 7 o'clock. You know what I'm saying, no bullshit, no sugar. And just kind of studying yourself. You feel me? I used to love how my grandma was able to diagnose her issues before they even came. So you know how like our ancestors and, you know what I'm saying, our family members, some of them, you know what I'm saying, eat things. We grew up eating things that we're not supposed to eat. After a while, my grandmother, she would be able to diagnose like her high blood pressure, or the things that made her feet swell up, or the things that made her knees swell up, just by experiencing it so many times. And you would think, you know what I'm saying, well, you know that pork does this to you. You wouldn't eat so much pork. But she just knew the time to eat it where she would be able to withstand the pain and enjoy herself, which is even crazier when I think about it back right now, you know what I'm saying, from back then. But kind of just trying to control your energy and control what you put in your body so that you can have a open mental space and a clear mind to, you know what I'm saying, do greater things. And then this week with this, I feel like we're going to do some yoga. So I feel like being still in relaxation, and all of these things that we're talking about are in the yoga pot. You feel me? To help center yourself and help define what you're thinking in your mental aspect. And you know, as Black men, we were never really introduced to yoga. We were never really introduced to breath work. You know what I'm saying, and breathing. You feel me? Simply because it was just out of sight, out of mind. I feel like, you know what I mean. And I feel like if our young people were introduced to some of these techniques, they'll be a lot more capable, you know, some of the things that we didn't have. But I'm going to take all of these different things and just try to apply it every day, you know, wake up in that mental space, that positive mental space. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of cool if you wake up early, you know what I'm saying? You could just sit in your dark room, you know what I'm saying, and just vibrate on what you want to accomplish for the day, for the week, for the year, even bigger, you know what I'm saying? And just let it gravitate towards you, you know what I'm saying? Be very clear in thought. And then after that, you know what I'm saying, do your little workout. I actually did a little workout at 5:30 this morning, and then I just finished another little one with stretching and whatnot while I'm doing this with you guys. But just incorporating that into my life for the past 3 weeks, it's been dope. It's been really dope. So once again, I appreciate everybody, my man.
Yes, sir. Keep it going, brother. Appreciate it, and man, we proud of you.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, for me, man, I wasn't here the first 2 weeks. But this week, man, I had a word with myself, and the word for me this week was intimacy. Intimacy. A lot of times we don't, especially us as Black people, we grow up with all these different perceptions on how to love. We don't really know how to love. We have all these perceptions on how to love and how to go about it. For me, man, the word for me being intimacy this week, about how to be desperate for yourself, how to be desperate for the Most High. A lot of times we find ourselves being desperate, wanting to better others or see others do good, that we're not desperate within our own journey, within ourselves. So this week, man, my goals and what I'm working on is to being more desperate for me, for the things that I want in my life. You know, always calling myself back to my first love, which is yourself, man. Self-love is important. So for me, man, I've been working on intimacy. Intimacy, just like you guys said, man, it's a form of meditation for me as well, because it allows me to indulge in myself way more. It allows me to be able to recognize myself, to be more aware of my body, myself, my thoughts, my emotions, my actions, and literally be able to call myself on when I'm right or wrong, and to be able to correct it. So, creating a conflict to be more desperate for myself is what I've been working on this week, brother, for sure.
Appreciate
That was
that.
deep, man. I got
Yes,
a question
sir.
for you real quick, man. You tapped
Go ahead.
into week one. You tapped into week one of the Masterkey. So being exposed to that exercise and being exposed to the information from the points you first tried week one, applying that to your life and bringing you to the point where you are now, in this mastermind, soaking up new information, bringing new opportunities and possibilities and attracting that into your life. How would you say that little tidbit of week one information has helped or changed in just overall quality of life?
Okay, for sure. I go back and look in classroom to look at that.
Nah, so I believe you tapped in it. We did it with Dr. Ali.
Okay.
But the
Yeah.
exercise
Yes,
was
yes, sir.
when you just sit down
Yes,
and you
sir.
focus on a point and you gain physical control of your body. But it was just tapping you into this information that we're getting into now. This is probably the third or fourth week, but you had got like the introduction.
Okay,
So
for sure.
receiving that master key, how has that changed the quality of life, or how has that affected anything?
Right.
What do you think?
You said, how is the master key effective to my life?
Yeah, or like, do you feel like this information has helped? Do you feel like it's made a difference?
Oh yeah, it more than so makes a difference, man. It changes the power of perception of the way that you think consciously. Like Brother V said, man. We learn in different ways,
Mm.
and sometimes we need to see it in all kind of ways in order to see it. Sometimes you got to see somebody else doing it in order to spark that fire. You know what I mean? So just all together, the information, the community, man, this village right here, man, it helped a lot, man. It helped a lot. I started my 1099 this year, man. I opened my own business, man. A lot of this stuff is it's real eye-opening, man. It's just the way that you receive it in the community and environment that you're around in order to be able to apply it. Again, just like brother Terry pushed me this morning. He texted me early this morning, hey, you getting on school today? Them type of environments, those type of people that really want to see you doing better and actually want better for yourself, that's the push. But it always starts with the individual. But I always had this fire in me, but it's even more so grows bigger when it multiplies. You feel me?
That's huge.
Yes, sir.
For sure.
And
Blessings.
piggybacking off of that, my bad.
No, go ahead. I just
Go
was
ahead,
saying.
brother.
I was saying, piggybacking off of that, man, you mentioned like seeing eagles fly, man. There's a story of a eagle living on a farm, and he thinks he's a chicken. So he just be acting like a chicken, pecking the ground like a chicken. And one day this guy comes and sees him and says, hey, that's an eagle. Tries to make him fly, and he flops. Tries it again, he flops. Finally, he throws him, and the eagle sees another eagle flying, and he remembers, that's what I'm supposed to be doing, man. So that's that iron sharpens iron piece. But another piece that stuck out to me, man, was when we learn this information, man, it adds a level of awareness or sensitivity to every lesson in life. Every experience in life becomes a lesson. So now when we're going through our day-to-day stuff, it's always an opportunity to exercise. Like when Brother V was talking about, you could be driving and notice yourself clenching your jaw or something like that. These are different like every experience turns into an opportunity to exercise mindfulness, manifestation, and training that subconscious to create the life you want.
Yes, sir.
For sure. I appreciate that.
Already. I appreciate y'all.
Brother P, True, Terry, if you want to kind of elaborate even more about what stood out to you, or
Yeah, man, a few different things stood out to me for sure. I mean, I definitely just enjoyed the conversation and everything already. And then like so yeah, thank you for the invitation, Vince, and pleasure to meet everybody for sure. So like yeah, it's my little meditation room and shit. You know what I'm saying? I got my bro, I got injured when I was in Iraq or whatever, so I got a little inversion table I invested in
Nice.
for that piece. And then Terry, I got the yoga mat right there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm about to
Come through. I see you.
I'm gonna give me a session as soon as we done, and then I got a little meditation pillow because I'm also experiment with like several products for my company and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like buying different people's stuff on Amazon, studying how they engineer it or whatever, you know what I'm saying, so I could reproduce it. But yeah, I'm a definitely oh yeah, but this I just added this. I was like, let me get a piece of tape or something. So in front of my meditation mat, I just put some Scotch tape on the wall and drew a dot on it. So that's gonna be my focus dot. So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
taking I got speaking of like I do have like adult ADHD, so I'm like doing shit like as soon as I hear it, I want to implement it. If it takes 30 seconds to 2 minutes, then like you know what I'm saying, like it also allows me to just like get it out, man. So that's why that's what I'm taking away from this conversation today. And then there's a couple books that came to mind. One called Energize, and it's just kind of like all those things that we were talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, having that awareness and, implementing things like, your relationship with the sun or, being grounded and all of the things that we do, you know what I'm saying? Like how, so, that gives you energy, you know what I'm saying? So you're not just managing the things, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of these things that, it's like whether it's anger management or, managing your time. And it's like, you get in so trapped into the management piece that you can't be a visionary, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just have the power to like enact your vision today, whatever that looks like.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so systems, this other book came to mind, Systems Thinking, that like thinking it like the power of thinking in systems. So I think, it really connects the author says like you know, like, yeah, okay, here's the formula of how to get from A to B, but then I always think about how B then in turns affects A. So like thinking in a complete system and not just like, you know, A plus B equals, the outcome of C, you know what I'm saying? Like, but also how does C come back to A, And so even in this conversation, coming back to the, beginning as far as like sharing, sharing a couple books, and then just, what are we, yeah, just the practice and routines that we're building in the way that we see fit to create and design our life, and thinking in that in with the context of like liberated imagination.
Mm.
I say, brother, appreciate that. Brother P, if you available, Arthur Davis, Terry.
Yeah, while we wait for him, if he's hopping on, I think for me, I love the first few experiments because it was real easy. Like there weren't a lot of instructions. It's like, all right, just sit here and focus, let your mind wander. I'd actually play a meditation in the background and have something kind of just anchoring me down. But I noticed as I did it each day, like I don't know who said it, but somebody was like, yeah, I finished my day off with a cold shower because that's my first win of the day. It's like anytime you start building your day with some wins, you're building that positive energy, building that repetition, and it's building a catalog of evidence for the type of person that you want to be. They say, I think it was the compound effect, or
Hardy.
yeah, one of these joints. It was either compound effect or atomic habits, but it says every action you take is a vote for the type of person you want to be. And so, even just this week, how I was breaking down like using your imagination and creating and seeing the end and being that sun and radiating the light that you want to be, being the change that you want to see. It's like, that's the way to do it. This is the key to controlling the mind. This is the process. And just like we had tapped into earlier, the powers that be know this stuff. And so they've, like, for centuries been using this stuff, try to control people, whether it's the food or the attention stuff and all that. But when you realize the power or the tool that it is, it's no longer a weapon. It's an exercise.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll say appreciate that. Blessings.
Yes, sir.
And you know, I'll go if brother Arthur Davis, if you available. If not, I'll say my piece. And okay. So number 17 was one that kind of kept ringing out in my mind, because it when we was talking about, you know, it's our attitude of mind towards life which determines the experiences which we are to meet. And so, you know, they say your attitude determines your latitude.
Yeah.
So to have that attitude towards life, if you expect nothing, then you shall have nothing. If you demand much, you shall receive greater portions. And I think that's a powerful thing to think about, because there's so many people going through life who really don't expect much, and they just get whatever life throws at them, and they feel victims of their circumstances because they don't have the expectation of demanding much greater things. So that's something that stuck out to me, and how I'm gonna use it in this. I'm expecting a miracle for my cousin to get up out of that hospital. I'm expecting it. You know, I had a lot of family come in yesterday, and you know, I was playing the Neville Goddard for him, and one of my cousins was like, is that one of them new Hebrew Israelites? Or I said, nah. He's like, well, is he a Christian? I said, no. He's like, well, I don't want to hear it. I said, well, maybe you should hear it, because there's something that you might need to hear. And he's like, well, I'm a Christian and I need this. I was like, well, this is the thing. I said, if Jesus was here, he would tell your ass to get up out the room for your non-belief. You know what I'm saying? So it's the power of expectations. When you expecting something, there's nothing that should deviate you from what you're expecting. I'm expecting his healing. I'm expecting to hear the testimony like, nigga, shit, they was trying to kill you. They said it's a wrap. They were saying pull the plug. But I'm expecting to hear the miracle of, yeah, you know, he overcame it. So that's how I plan to use it for the week. Is just keep your expectations high. Keep your expectations high and go with the mind of, you know, if you expect nothing, then you ain't gonna have nothing. Expect much, and much shall be given. So and again, I appreciate all you brothers for coming.
Mouth don't get fed. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And Brother Terry too, I want to implore all you guys to get active in the school app. Brother Terry is building that community, and as well, it's for entrepreneurs. It's the mastermind. Brother True, I think this will be a great place for you to meet other entrepreneurs and introduce them to your brand as well. And I'll let you speak towards that as well. But we all want to create this environment. It's almost like an entrepreneur launch pad, where we can shed light on every entrepreneur, whether you have a product or service, if you need help building a product or service, a webinar, a course, you're in the right place. And, you know, we want to implore you to do that with the school application, and tell your friends to tell their friends for like-minded individuals. We're not looking for everybody. I'll say that again. We're not looking for everybody. We're looking for those that's on our frequency and that has what we have, just as far as the right mindset to create. But Brother Terry, if you want to tell people about the school, and then Brother True, if you want to tell people about your business, as well as what you do. And then
Right,
we'll close it out. I don't want to hold you guys up too much, but appreciate you guys.
I'll make it quick. Can I share a screen real quick?
Yeah, let me see. Let me turn mine off. You should be able to.
Just want to kind of give a quick little walkthrough, 30-second explanation of stuff. So when people do hop in, they know where to go, how to get active, stuff like that. There. There. All right. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right, so this is the school. We got an entire free course in here. If you go to the classroom section, it has about 5 different modules in it. It's or 5 or 6 lessons in it. The way to unlock this free course right here, quantum cash flow, just make a post or comment on somebody else's post in the community. And then as soon as somebody likes your post or comment, you get a point. When you level up, get to level 2, that's when you unlock that course. And you can do that in the community section. Comment on anybody's post, anything like that. It makes it super easy. And yeah, it helps add to the interactive experience of school community.
Nice. And what we envision is helping each other as a community to build an audience to where we can market to these audiences that we create. So my audience is your audience, vice versa, to where we're building it out together. Brother True, if you want to expound on what True Level do and who's your core audience, and I think it intersects of what we're doing.
Most definitely, it's definitely tons of synergy for sure. Even like I have like various, I guess, like talents or disciplines in a few areas as it's concerned to business, and so and or entrepreneurship, and one being branding. So I just love how Skoolpreneur is dope. I got a tote bag design that I got. I would share my screen if we had time, but but it says Truepreneur. Entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, because the brand is True Level. Anyway, the design looks like less clunky than how it rolls off the tongue, but in a sense, True Level is my company, and it's TRULVL, truelevel.com. And True Level is a lifestyle and performance retail brand for entrepreneurs. So in a way that Nike is akin to athletes, REI and North Face to outdoor enthusiasts, Lululemon, Athletica to like yogis. It's really targeting urban entrepreneurs and as a consumer class, not just selling entrepreneurs like business solutions, but as a lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And then also getting into, okay, what does performance look like as well? Whether that's in the space of apparel products, or even like I'm in the gym like 8 times a week between working out and then boxing, so it's like I'm very conscious of my water intake. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we start getting into categories like entrepreneur essentials. Just kind of like asking myself, like, what does a entrepreneur require or desire across the spectrum of life and business? What does that look like for an entrepreneur? Like, what do you need when you doing a 2-day travel, what I'm saying, even, what I'm saying, and then branding it as such, what I'm saying? Like, what do you need in the office? What do you need remote? What do you need just day to day when you're moving around a lift or however you get around in transit, what I'm saying, let alone, actual, like, getting into travel. So then, talking about developing things such as like, a passport holder, what I'm saying, just as a travel item, because our entrepreneurs should have their passport. You know what I'm saying? So to encourage things like that, and then the brand from brand identity and messaging standpoint, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the aesthetic as well, or at least that messaging is foundational, which, you know, continues to inform the aesthetic. So actually one of my current volunteers right now, the job title, speaking to more of that synergy, the team member role that you know, she was appointed with because of her skill set is community engagement specialist. You know, and so, you know, I'm very cognizant of like my strategy. I got strategies on strategies for all for all the platforms, and now I'm rolling it out, and you know what I'm saying, like I can match my next investor's investment kind of deal. So like now it's like going into designing with a lot of these other products, but then also on the on that community engagement specialist. When Vince first told me about the school, I was like that's literally in black and white in my, it's one of my Google documents, you know what I'm saying, as far as, or several rather, as far as the role and how, in which ways are we engaging community and and really that kind of being like premised on, you know, okay, we have to map and like kind of like create funnels for the entrepreneurial ecosystem. You know what I'm saying? Like both like, you know, in real life and, you know what I'm saying, reflective, you know, like digitally. And so yeah, just, you know, finding out about school through like Alex Hormozy and all that, you know, like type deal or whatever. So I really applaud what y'all doing. And then the fact that, you know, even that you know, that's definitely like all these things for me is like, you know, these objectives and goals and stuff are broken up pretty much quarterly. And then, you know what I'm saying, like, so definitely was a quarterly objective, and for it to be presented and like shit, Vince, you already know, bro, like shit, you know, like shit, we you a loved one, you know what I'm saying, like, so like, you know what I mean, like I appreciate being brought into y'all cipher with it, and you know, like, yeah, Terry, you already got you know, you got curriculum going, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, you know, I do look for points to like build with, you know, each other, you know what I'm saying? Like, as well, like, cause that's like an alignment of goals. And then you know, like we all got our things and shit, but then you'll take it so like, but you have to think open, because part of our responsibility and plight is that we need to be building together. So I appreciate as being I identify as one who, you know what I'm saying, like you know, y'all feel like y'all could, you know, like build with, and I would love to do that. So those are kind of like my, you know, intents as well. But like, yeah, so much synergy is crazy, bro. So it only makes sense. And then, you know, it's like, you know, kind of like I don't have to ask myself like how, you know what I'm saying? Like I mapped it out, but like the how is here, just like we've been talking about, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I'm grateful, and like I'm excited, you know what I'm saying, like for what we all can do together.
Blessings, blessings. And two, I just wanted to let you guys know what we're taking this to. This recording will be inside the mastermind group, but I want to implore you guys to be active when we're recording, because you're creating content for yourself as well, to where we could utilize this as a podcast. We could clip this up to where even if you just reading a line, that line could go viral from you just reading the line out of the Masterkey, or it could be some content that you could use to implore people to get into the mastermind, to get people into your business, or, you know, just as content. So we're utilizing this to where we're maximizing all the content that we have, where we can make a podcast out of this. We have YouTube, we have, you know, just clips for Reels, Instagram, whatever, you know, and if they're going to keep TikTok around, we might throw it on a TikTok for entrepreneurs. But we're just maximizing our opportunities while we're doing this. You know, we killing multiple birds with one stone. So,
Hey, no, that brought up a super important point, man, because I'm working on launching a lot of stuff, and it's in the community. We got right now we're actively like 6 days into a 14-day challenge. And then directly after that one ends, we're launching a 30-day publishing challenge. Get your book published in 30 days. But one of the things that you pointed out was The benefit of showing up and being a part of the process is we're going to record it and put it into the back office later on. So now let's say you're going through the process, learning how to write a book, and you're getting your first stuff up there. Now, if you're in the recording, everybody that takes that course and goes through that training, they're going to see your book as well. So that's just adding more traffic or anything you got to that entire ecosystem. So that just made me think of that as well.
And we want everybody to write a book. You know, everybody has some information tucked inside of them. So we want everybody on this challenge. We're going to challenge you to write a book based off of some information you know, based off of something you may be interested in. We're going to challenge you. So we get this popping in having you as an author, certified published author, man, it helps you and it gives you that authority in a certain field. You know, when people see that you're an author, they're like, oh, it gives you that distinguished look, you know, it just adds value to whatever you're already doing. So, you know, I want to, that's it for today. I appreciate you fellas being with us and, you know, set your intentions for the day, man. Go out and make it a great day in a major way. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Peace, family.
Already, fellas. Yo, if y'all wanted to, too, Vince, oh, Terry dropped already, but if you wanted to, we could set up like a, you know, like another like virtual, like outside of this, just to kind of like, you know what I mean? Like I signed up for the I'm in the school now. I just got to add my profile and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm in there now. But like, yeah, just to, I guess, see like kind of like, you know, get more